Hey, did you know that the Torture Pod has merch? Yeah. Over at redbubble.com/people/torturepod, we have a whole bunch of different items that you can wear, adorn on your phone or your computer or your car to show your love for torture. We have Brazen Bull t-shirts. You can have the torture logo on a mug. Guild Array on Hat Day on a hat, if that's what you choose. Welcome to La Tumba shower curtains. I mean, literally, anything you want. iPhone cases with sort your fucking life out on them. I mean, how much better does it get? And remember, all Pride merch sold, profits go directly to the Trevor Project. So you're also helping people in the process of showing your love for the podcast. So go to redbubble.com/people/torturepod. And as all the kids these days say, get your fit on, bro. I don't know if that's what they say or not. I'm not cool. The subject of today's episode is a method of execution that was probably the simplest of death sentences to carry out. All you needed was a hole. Used on anyone from women who had killed their child or lost their virginity before the age of 40 to men that, well, enjoyed the company of farm animals. It spanned the eons of human existence, going back to 1000 BC to India and China, all the way over to Central and Western Europe. But the scariest thing about it was when it happened accidentally. In fact, people feared it so much that the process of declaring a person dead and the entire post-death industry had to be changed. Today we give you vivisculture, otherwise known as being buried alive. I'm Kevin Young.
I have a hole. Dig me a hole. Gonna put a nerd in it.
Digging a hole, diggy hole, digging a hole. Windrose. This is torture. Nothing like a little dwarf metal. Fucking love that song. Diggy hole, digging a hole. It's like metal music. It's all about death and drugs and sex, and then you have guys dressed up as dwarves singing about digging a hole and drinking under a mountain.
I still haven't listened to them.
Windrose, fucking love them. They're great. They very much get you in the mood to watch some Lord of the Rings. They're fucking fantastic, which is the whole point of the band. That's the whole reason they got together, is so they could sing songs about Lord of the Rings, which. Fuck, it's fine by me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's been a little while, bud. What's going on?
Yeah. Sweet fuck and all, really.
Yeah.
You know, same as usual.
Yeah.
I've been sick this week. I'm really glad we didn't record last week as a result, because I was really bad.
Yeah.
So I'm still coughing and spluttering at the moment. So excuse me, people. I'll try my best to cover it up. Yeah.
It's that time of the year.
That's it. Yeah. How about you? Aside from work.
Just work.
Digging your holes.
God, so much fucking work. That's why we haven't been recording or haven't put out any episodes in the past, a little over a month, because just cannot find the time to do anything. Believe it or not, everybody, podcasts do take time, and When you don't have it, you can't do it. And they do. Which brings us to our first little note, a programming note. Dan, you and I talked about just before we started up here. Going to be switching our post date. Usually I try to get it out midnight on Sundays. Always seemed like a good time, kind of start of the week thing. That's going to have to get pushed out, so we're going to change it to Mondays at midnight, kind of give me that extra day to get things done. I'm still going to try to get stuff done early, at least to put out for the patrons, but I'm going to make it so I don't have to, kill myself in order to get shit done and rush through and not focus on quality as much and put out a subpar episode. It's no point in doing all the work if you're going to put in a subpar episode. So
well, that's it.
Give me a little bit extra time, and so it'll be Mondays, Monday
podcast day.
Yep, and fuck it, this might come out on Sunday or Monday too. I don't know. I have no idea yet. Just this episode, probably Monday.
Whatever day it is that you're listening to this, that's the day it is.
There you go.
Words of wisdom right there.
There you go. Oh, fuck. We saw the Long Walk a little while ago. Fucking loved it.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen that yet.
It's so good. It's so. I swear to God, if the two guys who were the main characters, Pete and Ray, if they don't get at least nominated for an Oscar, then there's just no point in.
Oh really?
In Oscars, they're so fucking good.
There's no point in Oscars though. They pay for that shit.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, come on. At least base it on talent at some. I mean, the only time it's really based on talent is when like Daniel Day-Lewis is nominated because obviously, best actor in the world. But these two are so fucking phenomenal. Mark Hamill's really good in it too. But the whole movie is just great. Okay, so there's like 2 minutes in it that I wasn't super excited about.
It's the bit when they weren't walking.
Yeah. When they stopped walking, that took me right out of it. I was like, what is this? The whole point of the movie is the long walk, and they're not walking. I'm done.
If it was me, I'd get around a corner and be just giving up then. I'd be that's it. Made it as far as the shop. As far as I go, people.
Yeah, I'd walk past the first fast food joint and I'd be like, oh, you know what? Heart's just not in it anymore. I'm going to go get me some Arby's.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it took me a while to find one of those.
An Arby's?
Yeah. So we ain't gotten them.
Yeah, I love Arby's. We love Arby's. It gets a bad rap about it not being, good food, but their roast beef, I think, is top tier. I fucking love Arby's.
We got our first Taco Bell over here now. Yeah, and apparently the world lost its fucking mind. Well, the Irish people lost their mind.
All over the place.
Like, I'm sorry, but I think actually we probably already talked about this because I said about fucking that donuts place as well, Krispy Kreme or Krispy Kreme or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, but my god, like it's like people. The same thing happened with Subway, and now there's Subway fucking everywhere. Like there's so many Subways, it is insane. Yeah. I don't know. I like Subway though. It all tastes the same though.
It's okay. It's one of those where you have it so much, so often for a long time that anytime somebody says, let's go get Subway, you're kind of like, eh.
Yeah, we haven't had one in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like, we'll still get it every once in a while if we can't think of anything else to eat or just don't feel like cooking or something. You just want to get Subway. But, man, we haven't had Subway in months. Just because, I don't know, I just never have a craving for it.
That's it. The nearest one to us never has half the shit in it. Anyway, so...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so, like, we used to have one, like, right around the corner. and that was great.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when we had it the most often. I'd say if we were going to go get one now, then you're rolling the dice on whether or not you're going to have what you want.
Yeah.
Now, I'd eat any of it, because, you know, I'm not picky. It's other people. You know. So.
Yeah, we have one right uptown, and I got like 3 or 4 different ones that I can get that I'm fine with, and everything else, it's like, nah, if I can't have those, then I'm not worried about it. I'll just not eat. You know.
That's understandable.
Meatball marinara, sweet onion chicken teriyaki. Yeah, those
I
are
like
my 2
the
go-tos.
chicken pizziola. Is a good one.
Yeah.
Steak and cheese, and there was something else. Like the meatball, I had so many of them for years that I just kind of like, I haven't had one in so long now.
Yeah.
You know, do you have one that's like a mighty meaty something or something?
Yeah, some of one of those new those new like big sandwiches that they put together or whatever it is. Meatball. Something about a meatball sub is you can. I had them so often. It was like I changed up what I put on it, because for the longest time it was just meatballs, cheese, some Parmesan, and that was it. And I started
smothering Southwest, man, and pickles and shit.
I started adding different stuff to it, black olives, green peppers, just kind of mixing it up, just to find something.
I love a bit of peppers in there. That's the thing. I actually nearly always end up, whenever I do get that one, it's always actually very close to what I end up making if I was to make meatballs for dinner. Yeah. The way I'd have my sauce, like with the particular veg that would be in it. Which is kind of funny when you think about it. And I prefer making my own anyway, so.
Yeah, the ones we make at home are usually better than the ones we get from Subway. It's a convenience thing.
Yeah, that's always the way with everything, though, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
You know,
except I can make 90% of this at home, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably take you just as long.
It's like I get disappointed anytime I go out to like a steakhouse. We went out to eat a few weeks ago, and 2 or 3 weeks, and got a steak, and I was sitting there eating it, and I go in and grab the salt, and I start putting salt and pepper on it, and my wife's like, "Oh, that's not good." I mean, it's just, it was cooked perfectly, but it had no seasoning.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I hate. I was in the mood for steak, so I got one. But I hate getting steak at just regular old restaurants, because I can make one better at home.
Yeah, I never.
And half the things I was eating, I was like, I could make this better at home.
Yeah.
So unless I'm going to, I don't know. Obviously, if you go to a steakhouse where you're spending like $90 on a fucking ribeye, those are probably going to be seasoned perfectly. I don't know. I've never been to a steakhouse where you'd spend $90 on a fucking ribeye. But
no,
I would imagine.
You're okay, thank you.
I would imagine.
I was just checking that outside because the others are due home soon.
Looks like Tiamat ate your face.
Yeah. But I'm like that with restaurants, where I won't order something that I would typically make myself, or something that I know that I could make much better regularly, kind of thing. You mean, like, I remember sitting in a restaurant before, and was it somebody, I can't remember which one, the parent in this house ordered like a bolognese or something, and I was like, it's like I make that like every fucking week. Every week. So what I'm actually having tomorrow, I think.
The only time I order like a steak at a restaurant is if I see that it comes with a sauce that I have never had or haven't had luck making at home. Sauces are kind of my kryptonite. They're kind of my heel.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I always have a trouble with sauces. Either they break or if the flavor's not quite there. So if I find a steak at a steakhouse or a restaurant that comes with a good sauce, there's one here nearby, and they serve their steak with this like garlic Alfredo sauce, Parmesan Alfredo sauce with on top of like a bed of fettuccine. It's so fucking good. Like, I don't care how I'm not at that point. I'm not worried about how the steak's seasoned, because that sauce is so fucking good.
It's probably just like a bechamel based sauce, I'm assuming, is it? If it's So I've never made Alfredo sauce. I made Alfredo the proper way.
No, American Alfredo.
Yeah. Which is just like a creamy sauce.
So with a shit ton of fucking cheeses in it. It's goddamn good. So, yeah, if I'm going to order a steak, it's got to have like a good sauce with it anymore, because otherwise there's just no point. I'll order something else that, At half the time, it's the same thing with barbecue. It's like, I can make better barbecue. Barbecue isn't just sauce. It's a way of cooking it. You got to season it. You got to put a dry rub on it. You got all this stuff. It's not just cook some meat, slather it in sauce. I can do that at home.
I remember I was reading this thing recently online with somebody complaining where they were like, there's a big difference between barbecue and grilling. And what most people tend to call barbecuing is actually what, like, say, American will refer to as grilling. If we're doing what you call grilling, we tend to say we're barbecuing. But what I would consider to be barbecue food, is
barbecue
is barbecue. Yeah,
it's a whole day thing. That stuff's going to be on that grill for hours when you barbecue. Grilling is just throw a steak or a burger on or some chicken on real quick, cook it up, and take it and eat it.
Which most of the time makes it taste like shit. Just throwing that out there, it overcooks everything. Everything. I don't give a shit. Will you take a piece of chicken, you chuck that onto there? Guaranteed. Unless, it's every time I've ever had anything at a barbecue, it's always just
really
overdone and crap.
Our chicken,
not a big fan.
My chicken coming off the grill is all damn near perfect. When you squeeze it, all the juices just.
That's good. Because I don't really do it myself. So the only time I've ever had really, really, really good one is a friend of mine who's big into barbecue, and he'd do a good job. It'd be a whole day thing for him, even just a grilling side of things. The best burger I've ever had in my life was with him. So.
Yeah. The thing about grilling chicken or barbecuing chicken is you got to bring it to that point right before it's done. And
take her off.
Just wrap it in aluminum foil. Wrap it in aluminum foil nice and tight. Set it on your counter. Let it sit there for about 7 to 10 minutes. Yeah. And it is fucking perfect afterwards. Juicy. It's fucking delicious. God, I'm getting hungry. We gotta stop. Every time we talk.
Let's get through this so this man can get a sandwich.
Yeah, no shit. All right, Dan, let's take you back to the 8th century northern Germany. You are a middle-aged Saxon woman.
They invented the hole there.
That has been conducting an affair behind your husband's back. Unfortunately for you, your husband has had suspicions and decides to catch you in the act. As you and your lover meet for your unwedded bliss, your husband and whatever associates he brings as witnesses find the two of you making the beast with two backs, as they say. You and your fancy man are taken to the local authorities for cheating on your husband. Goes against Lex Saxonorum, or Saxon law. Your husband brings a complaint to the elders, and with his witnesses validating his story, you and your paramour are quickly tried and sentenced. Your husband pushed the narrative that you had been doing this for a long time, and it had caused him great shame, maybe even money somehow. And so the council decides that you were to receive the worst they could give.
Sorry, it's the worst they could give.
The worst.
It's Germany. They throw this big sausage at me. Like, thank you very much, but I just had some 2 minutes ago. Yeah.
Sauerkraut. Your lover will get something a little less severe, maybe just a hanging or a beheading. You were led out to the edge of the settlement in order to separate you physically and spiritually from the community. You are forced down into a shallow pit and then quickly covered with soil, stones, whatever they could use to keep you in the ground. You lie there, your lungs being compressed by the earth, your nose, ears, and mouth filling with dirt as breathing becomes harder and harder until it's virtually impossible. This was the torture of being buried alive. I think it's funny that you, the woman, will get buried alive, as in she's the one who's looked at as being shamed. But the man, they're just gonna hang you or behead you. Because
they just say that in front of her, you see, and then they give him a high five afterwards.
Yeah.
What it was.
Yeah, well, no, don't you worry. You get in that hole. He's going to get what's coming to him. And then she's, like, dead in the hole. And they're like, man, tell me about it. Even the husband's like, I know, right? I got to tell you, when I was in that closet watching you two before I jumped out and I was like, gotcha, I got to tell you, I was getting a little randy in there. You got some moves, man. Let's go to the bar. Pick up some bitches.
Let's compare notes.
Now, it wasn't just adultery that could get you thrown in a pit and covered. Killing your infant by direct means or by neglect, and violation of religious vows or sacrilege could also get you punished with vivisecture, or what is the Latin for buried alive. But it was never used on children that I could find, at least outside certain countries, or young women or elderly women, and almost never men, at least not in this context. We'll get to men being it happening to men later on. Now, this wasn't exclusive to just the Saxons at the time. If you go south and west into what is now modern-day France, you would run into the Franks. They also used premature burial for things like infanticide, severe sexual crimes, and religious transgressions through the lex salica. But it was less common and only used in extreme cases and only lasting until around the 9th century. In some cases, after the burial, a stake would be driven through the heart as to put a quick end to the suffering, using the live burial as more of a symbolic punishment. And again, almost always exclusively used on women. I don't know why it was only used on women. I think might have just been a precedent set earlier by other cultures, but I honestly have no idea why.
God only knows. It's pretty had some belief that because they're beneath them that they deserve the worst punishment or some shit, because it was always the way in society.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Still, kind of, yeah. So, when did all this type of thing start? Well, in Europe, we can go back to the 7th century BC in ancient Rome and the punishment of the Vestal Virgins. Now, Vestal Virgins were priestess of Vesta, the Roman goddess of the hearth and home, chosen as children between the ages of 6 and 10 from, quote, elite families. Their job was to keep the sacred fire of Vesta burning in the temple of Vesta in Rome. If the flame went out, Romans feared disaster would befall the state. So the virgins would have to serve a 30-year stint, 10 years of training, 10 years of service, 10 years of teaching. I don't understand what you would need to be taught. You're just making sure a fire doesn't burn out, I'm guessing. I don't know if it's I didn't look too terribly much into what they did, but I'm guessing it's probably not just a literal fire. It's probably a figurative fire, as keeping the fires alive.
Right.
You know, the gods. But also a literal fire. Now, during this time,
the metaphorical one. Maybe not metaphorical one. Maybe not literal one. Maybe both.
Maybe both.
It's a literal, metaphorical, literal fire.
This is the fire of Vesta. Oh, I thought you meant like the fires burning in the city. No. Our 30-year job is to make sure that doesn't go out. It's boring. You know what really ramped this up? Sex. Here's the kicker. Guess what we're not allowed to have?
So they're sitting there reading it over and over again.
just the last couple chapters, because that's the part that we had a whole discussion on that before the show. Go to our Patreon if you want to hear the the before show, and here are our thoughts on Stephen King, the Coke Master General. Now, during this time, they would have to remain chaste. So, if you started training at age 6, you could expect to remain a virgin until you were at least 36.
Dead.
Yeah, pretty much. If you were 10, then you stayed a virgin until you were 40. So what would happen?
Don't join until you're about 20. Have your fun, then join.
Yeah, have your fun as a teenager, and then the next 30 years you got job security. Yeah. Retire when you're 50.
What you do is look at a fire all day. It's fucking great.
Yeah, brilliant. Bring a book. I would recommend it. Needful Things is better, I think. But
oh yeah.
So what would happen if a Vestal gave into temptation? Well, it was seen as a religious offense that didn't just sully the woman herself, but one that endangered the whole of Rome. Many fearing that Rome might lose divine protection if the purity of the Vestals was corrupted. So, if a Vestal lost her virginity, she would have to be gravely punished. Pun intended.
I was going to say, see what you did there.
Yeah. I was like, I better say something. He might not get it.
Kevin's talking in italics right there, so he was.
Kicker is, it was illegal in Roman law to spill the blood of a Vestal virgin because she was seen as sacred. So, what's one to do? Well, you entomb her alive underground, of course. In the story of Vestal... You are now grounded. Oh, I don't have my phone? No, we're going to bury you alive.
Oh my God, is that where that came from?
That might be where it came from. Holy fuck. Now, in the story...
I'm going to Google it while you talk.
Yeah, you do that. In the story of Vestal Amelia, around 114 BC, Amelia was accused of breaking her vow. She was taken to trial in front of the Pontifex Maximus, or the high priest, and after making her defense, she was acquitted. However, public outrage grew. This was a particularly bad year in the Roman Republic. Famine, military setbacks, religious panic, all led to many believing that gods were punishing the city for sacrilege, and the ones having the finger pointed at them were the Vestals. So under pressure, she was tried again. Only this time, Amelia was convicted and sentenced to live burial. She was dressed in her ritual attire and led through the forum, taking to the Campus Scleretus, or the evil field, and was placed in an underground chamber with food, milk, bread, oil, water, a lamp, and a couch, and then covered up.
Big lazy boy recliner.
Yeah. Do you have anything in like a futon?
Yeah. Can I get... How about my Netflix?
Yeah, no shit.
Just so you know, Grounded did not come from there, sadly.
No?
It makes more sense when you actually look it up. It's likely sources from the early 20th century aviation industry where pilots were unable to fly, were literally grounded or confined to the ground. Oh. The sense of restricted movement and privilege was then adopted by parents and authorities to describe disciplinary action to deny children freedoms.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
Except for the like when it happened to the first couple kids, they're like, you're grounded. I have no idea what that means. You know, like what they do with pilots? That's you. And they're still like, the fuck are you talking about?
I think it's kind of funny when you think about how things like that catch on. It catches on much quicker nowadays because of the interwebs. And like you see things spread like wildfire, like where it's like the English language changes on a daily basis. It's the new things I'd be hearing. And I sound like an old man when I say it, but like, y'all kids in your current English is fucking disgusting.
20 years ago, skibbity wasn't a word.
Yeah, skibbity and yips and all sorts of other fucking crap. There's some fucking stupid thing they're saying now as well. What is it, like 72 or 27 or something?
67. 6-7. 6-7. It's like, what does it mean? It literally means nothing. It means absolutely fucking nothing.
I'm just going to throw this out there right now. And in 20 years, it's going to come back and haunt me. the same way Little Britain has come back to haunt fucking, what's your man's name that does Little Britain? You wouldn't have ever seen it, but it's fucking hilarious. Well, anyway, 20 years from now it's going to come back and haunt me. You're all a bunch of fucking idiots.
Hey, and guess what? 20 years ago, guess what our age was saying to us? You're all a
bunch of fucking idiots.
And guess what, Gen Z, you're going to say the same thing about Gen Alpha, and Gen Alpha is going to say the same thing about Gen Beta.
Things like, we adopted words like cool and stuff like that. Like, it's actually kind of funny the amount of slang terms that are used through our youth that are actually the stupid, bad slang, let's say, in the 70s. Yeah. You know, like, it's an awful lot of those things that kind of came up through there far more weighed in and stuck around.
And now, if you were to say the words that we grew up using, the younger generation would be like, "Oh my god," like radical or fat. Yeah. When was the last time you ever heard anybody say the word fat?
Probably while watching an episode of Moesha or Buffy. Yeah. So.
The rare Moesha.
Yes.
Of all the shows you could have pulled from the ether, he pulls Moesha. It was like that. Was the last time I was watching Sister.
Yeah. Well, we actually watched that a couple of years ago because Connor wanted to check it out. Yeah, we watched the whole thing. Yeah,
I watch Sister all the time.
God, it was hilarious. It was so funny.
Sister was great.
It's so funny because especially when you've grown up in the 90s and you see the references they're making throughout it. You know, we were getting them the whole time. It's funny. Anyway. But that's where Grounded comes from. So yeah.
Anyway, that was our time for off topic.
Let thebeardstruggle.com cream all over your beard.
What?
With the Beard Struggle's all new beard cream.
Oh, thank God.
Now everybody can get nice and creamy.
I think what he means to say is that with ingredients like glycerin and shea butter, avocado, and jojoba oils, it's perfect for everyone, anytime.
Night, day, hot, cold. You're going to get that cream.
Okay. And hydrolonic acid ensures deep hydration without the grease for a long beard or just some scruff.
Creamy scruff without the grease.
Dude, gotta stop. And as always, use our exclusive discount code TORTURE19 and take up to 19% off at checkout.
Getting creamy and taking it off.
Okay, we need to end this. TheBeardStruggle.com. Do what's right for your beard. Do what's right for your face.
Sort your sexy, creamy fucking beard out.
Oh, boy.
Now, they did it this way with the lamp and the couch and the food. Because they wouldn't then be directly killing her. I mean, yeah, they were. But they didn't see it that way. But keeping her in a tomb more than an actual grave with some rudimentary supplies meant that they were putting her life in the hands of the gods. That maybe if she was innocent, then Vestia would keep her alive or some bullshit. As far as I know, she did not. Pretty sure she died anyway, because gods aren't real and nothing matters. There's also Vestial Cornelia in 90 AD, their Virgo Vestilis Maxima, or Chief Vestial. Cornelia was accused of violating her vows by the notoriously paranoid Emperor Domitian. He would often use trumped-up charges of immorality and or treason in order to eliminate people he disliked. That seems to be a common theme with fucking tyrants. But...
You know, likey, you go bye-bye.
Yeah, there you go, right there. Anyway.
I like ice.
Cornelia,
nice and cold.
Abolish it. Cornelia most likely got caught up in this kind of political culling. Her trial was seen as brutal and unjust. She protested her innocence to the end, pointing to her noble lineage and years of service, but Domitian ordered her executed by live burial. Anyway, she, like Amelia was placed in a tomb, the soldiers and officials that escorted her being impressed by her dignity through the ordeal. Now, these are more immurements, like live entombment, since they weren't directly buried. But this was the first use of this kind of punishment that you can really point to in Europe. There's not going to be any other immurements, really, in this episode, because I want to focus on just the actual burial, because I feel like it's a different thing than being walled up. Walled up immurement will get its own episode, maybe around the time we cover Poe, maybe around Edgar Allan Poe's birthday or something some year. We'll cover being walled up. But for today, it's going to be primarily just the actual burial. Now, although there were other places in the world using premature burial even earlier, according to the Dharma Shastra, or Shastra, Dharma Shastra, in ancient India, there are references in Sanskrit texts from 1000 BC to 500 CE of criminals and people guilty of severe sacrilege, mostly women or lower status individuals, being buried alive for treason, blasphemy, desecration of temples, and infanticide, either by using a coffin or box, but usually just putting the body bare in the ground. Quote,
Sorry, I thought you were taking I thought you were going to pause there for a second. I was trying to emphasize. Not emphasize.
No, go ahead.
Trying to try and catch on a pause. It's quite efficient if you think about it. You're gonna have to dig a fucking hole for them anyway.
Yeah.
So you may as well just do, like two birds, one stone.
Makes you think it all came from just somebody being lazy. Like they dug the hole and then they're like, now I gotta fucking kill him.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. A light bulb, not even a light bulb, it'd been a candle with a light with a flame on it, probably. Oh my God. So they say, always, if you want something done quickly, hire a lazy person. They'll find the easiest way to do it so they can go back to doing nothing.
Yep.
Quote, he who destroys a sacrificial altar or temple shall be placed in the earth alive, that the gods may witness his fate. So, but no, you're right. It is. Unless the only other thing that could be as efficient would be like burning at the stake, because you're gonna do away with the body anyway. Just let them burn until there's nothing left.
Yeah.
And then you have a place to throw. To do your barbecue. You can make your chicken.
True.
Yeah,
it's very true. It's actually, yeah.
Smelling all that cooked flesh, be like, I'm getting hungry. Grab the chickens.
Wrap them up in foil. Chuck them on there. Happy days.
There are accounts of burials happening during the Warring States period from 475 and 200 BC in China. There is a chance that in 212 BC, the first emperor of unified China, Qin Shi Huang, buried alive 460 Confucian scholars, although some historians doubt that it happened. And in 260 BC, the, as far as we know, largest single case of live burial as a form of execution happened after the brutal 2-year conflict known as the Battle of Changping, where 200,000 soldiers were captured and buried alive.
Nice.
Fucking shit.
Bet you that Chinese emperor guy, Hiso Hong, or whatever his name is, had a massive dick. I just heard his surname was Hong. Yeah, something like that. I thought something he hung or something like that. So.
He's so hung. Yeah. Cream of something guy.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
200,000 soldiers, so fuck that.
I mean, it doesn't say if it was a mass burial where they had like bunch of people getting buried.
I was going to say, yeah, it's the first man-made hill. Or man-made hillock.
Yeah, oh, shit. Or if it was like everybody got their own grave. But I doubt you'd give that kind of respect to your enemies.
Stack them up and then just throw dirt over them until you end up with a nice pyramid, and then you put yourself like a nice couch on top, and then you can sit there and lord over everybody else and be like sitting on 200,000 dead motherfuckers here.
Yeah, every once in a while an arm comes popping out and you just cover it with sod or something. Yeah, you make a park out of it.
If I've learned anything from D&D, it's that every civilization is built on top of the grave of another civilization, which is built on top of the grave of another civilization. So it makes sense.
That's just basic human history.
Yeah, well, that's true actually, yeah. But, like, so, yeah, it stands to reason, though, like, you know what I mean, that, like, there could be entire, the foundations are literally bodies like that.
Yeah.
Look at France, or Paris.
Like I've said it before, if you go over to, like, your neck of the woods, Ireland, you know, the whole of British Isles, and then most of Europe, you're not going to probably step on one part of the land that hasn't had blood spilled on it at some point. I mean, it's just there's just been war until, because it's been around for eons. So.
Yeah.
But yeah. Now as we move
to Carlow here, County Carlow here, nobody ever goes there.
No, I don't know.
It's the forgotten. It's the Forgotten Realms. So
yeah.
I even forget it exists.
Me too. Right in the backyard. I don't even know what's there. But as we move through time, past the Romans, Indians, Chinese, Franks, and Saxons, we come to medieval Europe in the 10th and 12th centuries in small towns and communities in Germany, Italy, England, and France, where it was rare but still appeared in law books for moral and religious crimes. Still mostly for women, but more public executions like hanging, burning, and beheading largely replaced live burial, mostly because the church favored other forms to vivisculture. And hangings, burnings, and beheadings are kind of spectator sports.
I was going to say, yeah, they're a spectacle. Yeah.
Live burial, not so much.
Yeah, you wouldn't see somebody going around at a live burial and going, "Get your peanuts! Get your peanuts!" You know, you can imagine that.
You could sell little baggies of dirt, and everybody gets to throw their baggie of dirt on top.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I feel like hanging, burning, beheading. Those are the footballs, the baseballs, the crickets, the racing, and live burials like.
No, live burials to cricket.
Oh, yes. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, the national chess championship.
A code from the 13th century specified that the rape of a virgin should be punished by live burial. However, the rape of a non-virgin was punished with the simple beheading. Also, if a female was found guilty of killing their employer, they could be buried alive. And up to the 16th century, women would still be punished this way for infanticide. For some reason, if you killed your child, if you killed your infant, they just thought you needed to be buried alive.
Okay.
Whatever. It is what it is. Now, through the next few hundred years, it became even more rare, being seen as barbaric and antiquated. It was largely done away with, leading us to the story of Anna Utenhoven. Now, born sometime in 1552, Anna Utenhoven, or Anakin van Dan Hove, or Anna Utenhoven, lived and worked pretty much. She lived and worked in Vilvoorde, Spanish Netherlands, modern-day Belgium. She didn't attend Catholic Mass or confession, leading a parish priest to suspect her of Anabaptism. Anabaptism is the great-great-granddad of Mennonites and the Amish. A Protestant Reformation sparked by Martin Luther challenged the authority and practices of the Roman Catholic Church, believing that only adults or those capable of consciously choosing faith should be baptized, and those that were baptized as infants had to be rebaptized as an adult, hence the name Anabaptist, meaning rebaptizer. Now, they believed in, and listen to the crazy things these people believed. They believed in complete separation of church and state, pacifism, communal living, and religious freedom. How dare they? The complete antithesis of the Roman Catholic Church. Just ridiculous. Now, Anna is formally arrested by the order of the Council of Brabant on December 21st, 1594, and taken to Chullenburg prison. She would sit in prison for the next 2.5 years. Archbishops and Jesuit priests trying several times to get her to renounce her faith, fearing she was spreading heresy through the prisoner. Governor Albert
spreading chlamydia through the prison. That's what it was.
That's probably. Governor Albert VII convinced the council to execute her, and on July 17, 1597, she was taken out of her cell and escorted to a shallow grave. Made to lay inside, they began to cover her with dirt, all the while ordering her to recant. As just her head still lay uncovered, they gave her one last chance to renounce the, quote, family of love, as it was called, and turned to the Catholic Church. She refused, and her head was then covered. Now, this execution was highly unpopular in the Dutch Republic and fueled anti-Spanish sentiment. It marked the last execution for heresy in the Low Countries. In 1609, the punishment for heresy was changed to exile. You know, if you'd have done this a year ago, we'd bury you alive. But right now, I was going to say, there's always... You just need to leave.
A last one. You know what I mean? There's always that one fucker. You imagine if you were able to look back and it'd be like, God damn it. Of course I was the last. If I just waited one extra week to have that affair with my husband, I wouldn't have been buried alive.
You're going in the hole. You're like, but only solace is knowing that the next person this happens to will also... Oh, no, there's not going to be a next person.
Yeah.
What? No, you're the last one. Yeah, people are really pissed off about this shit. So we're just going to get this one done and over with. So yeah, you're it. Well, couldn't the last person have been the last one?
Already signed it. Filled out the paperwork.
We already got all this stuff. The red tape.
The hole is dug.
It's more paperwork if we decide not to do it, which is ironic, I know, but it's a weird thing. It's really all about semantics.
Bob is losing his hole digging job. You know, he has to go off and get a job to fill out paper for exile after this. He really wanted to dig this one last hole.
Yeah, he's really upset about it. I hear he's going doing some internet stuff. He's going to go University of Phoenix or something to become a counselor or some shit. I don't know. It's weird. But no, if you could just lay down, we have some dirt to pour over you now.
Poor Lugan, Boogan, Fugan, whatever the fucking hell her name was.
Anna Utenhoven.
Anna, that's it. Anna.
Yeah. But just because it was changed for heresy doesn't mean that they didn't see one crime still horrible enough for live burial. Which brings us to the story of Tiufrid.
Spoiling TV shows.
An 18-year-old farmhand in Kinnevaldsharad, Jönköping County, Sweden. In January of 1616, he was accused, tried, and convicted of having sex with a cow. Just wanted some of that beef. According to court records,
he's the man who discovered milking cows. That's what it is. Now we finally have the answer.
Tiufrid was sentenced by Governor Niels Sternkold to be buried alive with the cow involved in the offense.
Poor cow.
Yeah.
Who's standing for the cow's rights?
There's a few instances I found where the animal, there was one guy with a horse, where the animal was always buried with the guy. And I don't know if maybe it's so he has a companion while he's down there. Be like, well, as long as we're down here, what's up, babe?
Yeah.
Just slaps its haunches. Looking pretty good down here in this hole.
Hey, guy! What you doing that?
The execution took place at the district court where both Tiufrid and the animal were interred together inside a large stone mound. The court records describe the event.
Imagine
quote,
a cow showing up to court in a suit. Yeah. How's the plead? How's the defendant plead? Like,
got a
say
donkey
yes or no.
lawyer.
Yeah.
Like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
Yeah.
and furthermore, my client is completely.
Foghorn Leghorn comes in. I say, sir.
I say, you just can't keep this kid from fucking cows around here. I say.
Interspecies erotica, sir.
Describe the event, quote, which and now happened that the affirmation Tiufrid and the creature with which he had committed this sin were laid together in a large mound. All right. I mean, poor cow.
That was nowadays to just be, what the fuck were y'all thinking?
I feel like you could have got better use out of the cow. I mean, if you want to do away with it.
I wouldn't want to have any use out of that cow afterwards. Yeah.
Look, his dick's only so big. The meat up in the front isn't going to be affected by what he did in the back.
That's fair enough.
And you don't tell anybody about it. You're going to be sitting there eating a steak at night.
Quite salty.
Like, this steak's delicious. Where'd you get it? Oh, that's the cow that kid fucked.
Yeah.
He just... pulling pubic hairs out of your mouth. Now, it was also used throughout history during wartime. Serbians buried Bulgarian civilians during the Balkan Wars. Germans buried Jews in the Ukraine and Belarus during World War II. French troops buried Algerian prisoners during the Algerian War. Viet Cong buried civilians and troops during the massacre at Hue. Iraqi soldiers were buried alive by American tanks by shoveling earth into the trenches they hid in. And, of course, Japanese soldiers buried the Chinese in Nanking. One of the many, many things that they did.
Never heard of that before.
In What's this Nanking you speak of? Maybe there's a podcast episode I could listen, or 3 that I could go listen to. Nah, just listen to 2 of them. You don't need to listen to the last one. Do yourself a favor.
Memories.
Now, as horrible as these punishments are, and they are, I don't think they're as scary as the other way people are buried alive. By accident. Now, through history, there are a wide array of stories of people being put in the ground prematurely. The 5th century Roman Emperor Zeno was buried, allegedly, alive in Constantinople after losing consciousness from either drinking or disease.
That's how he was in Istanbul.
Well, Istanbul was Constantinople, but now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. Ask the Turks. I don't know.
I was going to say, we've all heard the song, Kevin.
Dan's like, I was asking a legitimate question, and you're making a joke of it. And
No.
I don't appreciate it.
I was trying to make a joke of it. It was a joke question. I know Istanbul is Constantinople. Constantinople is Istanbul.
Now, he lay in his sarcophagus for 3 days, crying out, quote, "Have pity on me." But since his wife hated him, she refused to open the tomb. Like, everybody could hear him screaming in his tomb, "Have pity on me." But his wife's like, "I don't hear anything. Do any of you hear anything?" And they're like, "No, ma'am, we don't hear anything." That's right. You don't hear anything. And in the background, all you hear is, "I can hear you. Can you hear me? I'm not dead yet.
You just walk away from the damn thing.
I'm feeling much better." Now, Alice Blunden in 17th century England fell into a deep stupor after ingesting a large quantity of poppy tea. So pretty much she was just, she passed out from being high, I'm guessing. I don't know. A doctor declared her dead. She was buried promptly. 2 days later, children playing near her grave heard noises emanating from it. Upon investigation, they found Blunden alive, but gravely weakened. She died shortly after being exhumed. The New York Times gave an account in February of 1885 about a man named Jenkins, quote, and I went back and forth on whether or not I should do the true crimey voice or the old-timey radio news voice, and I'm going to do the old-timey radio news voice because I want to save the true crime voice because there's a little girl story coming up here in a little bit, and I feel like maybe the newscaster voice might be disrespectful. So
go for it.
Asheville, North Carolina, February 20. A gentleman from the Flat Creek Township in this Buncombe County furnishes the information that about the 20th of last month, a young man by the name of Jenkins, who had been sick with a fever for several weeks, was thought to have died. He became speechless, his flesh was cold and clammy, and he could not be aroused, and there appeared to be no action of the pulse and heart. He was thought to be dead and prepared for burial, and it was noticed that at the time there was no stiffness in any of the limbs. He was buried the day after his supposed death, and when put in the coffin, it was remarked that he was as limber as a live man. Now, there was much talk in the neighborhood about the case, and the opinion was frequently expressed that Jenkins had been buried alive. Nothing, however, was done about the matter until the 10th, when the coffin was taken up for the purpose of removal and interment in the family burying ground in Henderson County. The coffin, being wood, was suggested that it be opened in order to see if the body was in such condition that it could be hauled 20 miles without being put in a metallic casket. The coffin was opened, and to the great astonishment and horror of those relatives, the body was lying face downward. The hair had been pulled from the head in great quantities, and there were scratches of the fingernails on the inside of the lid and the sides of the coffin. These facts caused great excitement, and all acquainted personally with the facts believed Jenkins was in a trance, or that animation was apparently suspended, and that he was not really dead when buried, and that he returned to consciousness, only to find himself buried and beyond help. The body was then taken to Henderson County and reinterred. The relatives are distressed beyond measure, and what they term criminally carelessness in not being absolutely sure Jenkins was dead before he was buried.
Nice.
So yeah,
he actually. I know it's actually a very difficult voice to do. No,
it is.
I love. You were like, it was like this. Where it was longer it went on, like the more you went back to your normal voice, I thought it was really funny. Yes. It's like it really started off like, just music for Berlin, we're giving the Jeremy's what for? And then they won the war.
It's hard to do. It's hard to keep up.
I applaud you for the amount of it that you did do, though.
I am all nasally as well. I'm all congested,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know if I don't think I'm getting sick. I think it's just the air.
Yeah, it's not an easy one to do. I've tried to do it before.
Yeah. And applaud to all the people who did it for so long back in the day.
That's just what they sounded like. Just like to get up in the morning.
Hello, this is how everybody sounded.
Good morning.
Just go back in time. Everybody's a news talk speak.
Yeah.
The next year, there was another story of a girl from Woodstock, Ontario, Canada. Quote, and I had honestly thought about doing the Canadian voice too, but again, this is just it's a girl. I just wanted to be respectful. So we'll do the true crimey. Buried alive. Woodstock, Ontario.
Buried alive, buddy.
January 18th, buddy. I apologize. Recently, a girl named Collins, died. I'm sorry. Died. It was supposed, very suddenly, a day or two ago, the body was exhumed prior to its removal to another burial place, when the discovery was made that the girl had been buried alive. Her shroud was torn into shreds. Her knees were drawn up to her chin. One of her arms was twisted under her head, and her features bore evidence of dreadful torture. Guy.
Nice.
Essie Dunbar, an African-American woman from South Carolina, was prematurely buried in 1915 at the age of 30 after reportedly suffering a bout of epilepsy. Being exhumed a few minutes later, after her sisters asked to see her body one more time, the shock of her survival reportedly resulted in several ministers falling into her grave and mourners fleeing in terror. The only reason I put that one in there is because it's fucking funny. Just see people standing up, hold it out, and just running off, and then people falling into her grave.
That'd be fucking brilliant.
Because she sits up. She's like, what are you doing?
Get out of my grave.
So this begs the question, 1, what do you actually go through when you're buried alive? And 2, how do they stop it? So, for the first question, what you actually go through when you are buried alive. The first minute or so, your heart rate will start to spike as your adrenaline surges. If you're under loose soil, every breath draws in dust and dirt, irritating your eyes and your lungs. You'll probably begin to panic and hyperventilate, using up oxygen faster. You'll probably deplete your air within 3 minutes or so. If you happen to be in a coffin and can keep your cool, you could stretch that to 10 minutes. But as you exhale, you fill the space with CO2, carbon dioxide, which triggers air hunger. If under loose soil, the earth will begin to press on your chest, making it impossible for your diaphragm to fully expand. Another 3 to 6 minutes.
Start suffering from life hunger.
No, just the air. You don't give a fuck about the life. Now, another 3 to 6 minutes, and headache, dizziness, and confusion start to set in. The lungs burn from inhaling too much CO2. Your heart rate goes up more, and your oxygen saturation plummets, leading to loss of brain function. After another 10 minutes or so, the majority of people will black out from lack of oxygen. Convulsions or involuntary thrashing may occur, which I'm guessing that explains that Tina Belcher must have sleep apnea, and she doesn't get enough oxygen because that's where she thrashes.
This explains why Ryan Reynolds did Green Lantern. He did Buried.
Because he did it right after Buried?
He did Buried. Soon to come up in Dan's social pop culture list. And obviously suffers some form of brain trauma from lack of oxygen, and then did Green Lantern.
It's like an animated suit. That sounds like a great idea. Convulsions or involuntary thrashing may occur as the body gasps reflexively. This will happen earlier if not in a coffin or casket of some sort. Another 20 and most people will succumb to oxygen deprivation, CO2 poisoning, or positional asphyxia, where the chest is compressed under the weight of the earth, and will pass away. So, like you see in Buried, these people who live for days and days underground,
bullshit.
Now, how do they prevent it from happening? Well, the Byzantine Emperor Heraclius, most likely due to the tale of Zeno, had a marble sarcophagus built in the 7th century with the explicit instructions that after he passed and be put inside, that they were to leave it open for no less than 3 days, just in case. But you gotta think, when you come up with something like that, like you're kind of hoping that like they try to bury you alive and they leave it open for the 3 days just so you can use it, just so you can be like, oh, glad I came up with that idea.
Yeah, that's true.
In the day of Rome and through medieval times, they simply waited a few days to bury their dead, waiting for rigor mortis or decomposition to start, 3 to 7 days. In medieval Europe, this time was called a vigil or a wake, hence the term. Sometimes they would prick or burn parts of the body to get a reaction, but this wouldn't work if it was a deep coma. Now, then in the 1700s, when taphophobia, or fear of being buried alive, became a full-blown obsession from newspaper articles of varied cases of people exhumed with fingernail scrapes on the inside of the coffin, there came inventions like safety coffins. A patent for a coffin with an air pipe, food, water, and keys for escape was given
shotgun
to Duke Ferdinand of Brunswick in 1792. Which safety coffins are fine for premature burial, but what about when the zombie apocalypse happened and they all come rising from the dead? You just gave them the keys
and
to
snacks.
Themselves. Yeah, fuck. Well, no, they'd open up. They'd be like Cheetos, and they'd open up. They'd be like, "I want brains," like in Return of the Living Dead. In 1829, Germany, Dr. Johann Taberger invented the corpse bell that rang if the buried person moved a finger. And in 1868, Franz Vester in the U.S. patented a life-preserving coffin with a tube, ladder, and flag.
She all knows where dead ringer comes from.
Is it?
The bell. Yeah, the bell thing is where dead ringer comes from.
Huh.
I don't know that.
I didn't think about that. I didn't even think about that one.
Oh, yeah. I thought I was waiting for you to say it.
No. Everybody. The thing I was going to point out is everybody says that that's where the phrase "saved by the bell" comes from, but it's not. That came from boxing.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, there you go. Now, through the 1900s in Germany, Switzerland, and France, cities built Krankenhäuser, or waiting houses, where bodies were kept until they began to decay. Corpses were laid on viewing tables with rings attached to strings, which were placed on the fingers. Fingers moved, they'd pull a string, which was attached to a bell. Bell rang, body was alive. Or sometimes
saved by the bell, right?
Yeah. But no, that's not where it came from. Eventually, medical science advanced to the point where confirming death was easier. The stethoscope in 1816 allowed physicians to confirm the heart had stopped beating. The electrocardiograph in 1903 confirmed no cardiac activity. The EEG in 1929 could assess brain death. And burial laws were changed. Most Western nations implemented a mandatory observation period of 24 to 72 hours before burial, or cremation and embalming. The process of removing the blood from the body and replacing it with embalming fluid, mainly formaldehyde, became the standard in 1860. They did a form of embalming way back in the days of the ancient Egyptians, where they take the brain out of the head through the nose and all that stuff. But formal embalming, 1860s, around the time of the Civil War here in America, came pretty much the Western civilization standard. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot more. I mean, you can go down a rabbit hole of finding these articles of people being buried alive, but I didn't want to go through a million of them. So
that's fair enough.
Dan, any pop culture, which I know there is.
It's probably the longest, the easiest list of pop culture stuff to get.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Where do I start? Kill Bill Volume 2. No. Buried, which we already talked about. There's a movie called Buried Alive. Yep. Yeah. The Vanishing. City of the Living Dead. It has been in CSI. Yeah. There was a thing of it in The Rookie. Don't know if you've watched The Rookie yet.
No.
God, I love The Rookie. Lost. The whole Poe thing. I won't go into that. Yeah. Yeah. In ancient Egypt, pharaohs were buried with their servants, so that they'd have people in the afterlife. And there's three other things I think are pretty cool about it. Is that Houdini is probably one of the most famous things of somebody being buried alive.
Yeah.
In the famine in Ireland, there was a 3-year-old boy who was mistakenly buried alive, who actually got up and came back out, and he lived to be like 20-something. In the end,
still not a long life.
Tom Guerin,
longer than 3.
Yeah, and he was crippled as a result of it as well.
Well, I think after that, it's every day's a gift.
Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Somebody's just like, Oh man, my day has just been horrible. Oh yeah, did you get buried alive? Yeah.
Buried alive and have both your legs broken so they can fit you inside the box.
Oh god, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And then come back out into the famine. Still, so, and Slipknot have a song about being buried alive as well called Purity.
Purity, yes. One of my favorite
they're just
songs
the ones I listed. Yeah, it's much better than the original thing it was, Despise. Like,
hold on. He was 3 years old.
Yep.
Just make a bigger box. It's not going
to. Oh, there was mass graves, is what they were doing.
But I'm still.
Yeah,
he's 3. He's 3.
They're just chucking him in with somebody else.
They break his leg and he screams. What is that? Oh, it's just the air escaping. Just break the other one so we can get him buried. Fucking shit.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
All right. Well, thank you to our patrons. Is that all of it? Or was there more?
That's all I bothered writing down. There's more.
Yeah, there's a lot more. More. Thank you to our patrons: Willow Quinn Fowler, Sam. I forget how to say this. Is it Bear?
It's like that Dutch woman, Sam.
Sam Purgaturg. Yeah. You can sign up as well at patreon.com/torturepod. 1 week of our Cult Eater tier for free. Connect with us on socials at TorturePod. Email torturepod@gmail.com. I would love to get more emails. Just putting it out there, even if it's just to say, hey, I listened to the podcast. I'm liking it or I'm not liking it. Either way, it doesn't matter. Send us some emails at torturepod@gmail.com. Buy me a coffee /torturepod to donate. Redbubble.com/people/torturepod for merch. Pride merch profits are going to be donated to the Trevor Project. Go rate and review wherever you can. And thank you to our sponsors. You can support us by supporting them. Hint for our next episode. It will be our Halloween episode. And I know that we have been kind of doing an episode and then waiting like a month and a half to do another one. I really want to get the Halloween episode out because I'm excited about it. So the hint for our next episode, why do witches always get the trials? No. Every time you hear of a trial, it's always a witch trial.
It's true.
Why? Dan, any words of wisdom?
Kind of feel I kind of nearly already gave my words of wisdom earlier on.
About Istanbul being Constantinople.
No, I can't remember what the hell I even said earlier on that said, now there's my words of wisdom for today. Oh, it was, what was it? It was, the day you're listening to this is the day it is today.
The day.
Or something like that. Yeah. Look. Don't do something stupid like getting buried alive. How about that? Just
don't get high on poppy tea and then pass out and get buried
It's too
alive.
busy looking up pop culture, all this long list of pop culture references to even think of something to say. Here's a bit of word of wisdom for you. Play some D&D, people.
Yeah,
play some D&D.
Fucking hell. All right.
Back looking at D&D Beyond.
Yeah, there you go. And how much they're gonna if you put out a new D&D podcast, their D&D will fucking come after you.
You think so?
I mean, from what I understand, the corporate side of D&D is getting fucking horrible. That's why it's one of the main. I think that's one of the reasons why Critical Role
made their own.
Yeah. It's getting too money grabbing. That's a different show.
Well, look.
All right.
Let's play some tabletop role-playing games.
There you go. Let's get some TTRPGs in here. All right. Well, that's all we got. Kill the fascist, punch a Nazi, take care of yourselves, take care of one another. We'll see you.
Sayonara.
Bye.